Are you looking for ways to build a stronger, more loving family? Join Character Mould class on Voice of Love for Generational Reform by Pastor Mrs. Adenike Oshewolo from Destiny Defined Covenant Center every Sunday evening from 6:30 to 7 p.m.
Ìjẹ́ ìwọ ní ilé tí ò tòrò? Abó mọ bí wọ́n ṣe ń fi ìfẹ́ hàn ládùúgbò tàbí sọ́mọlàkejì rẹ̀. Darapọ̀ mọ́ arábìnrin Adenike Oshewolo ní agogo 6:30 ìrọ̀lẹ́ títí di agogo 7 ní ọjọ́ ìsinmi Sunday lórí ìkànnì ọmọlúàbí 87.7 FM.
As she brings you practical parenting insights, powerful discussions, and heartfelt guidance for healing within the home. Because a healthy family isn't just a dream, it's the foundation for a healthy nation. Tune in to Voice of Love on Omolabi 87.7 FM every Sunday by 6:30 p.m., where hearts are healed and families are reformed for generations to come. Don't miss it.
In the middle of nowhere, with no one to run to, till your grace found me. So deep in my guilt and my shame, till your love came and found me. Now I am free. Oh, for your love and never, yes, your love and never. Now I am free, free to worship you. I'm the apple of your eyes, the thought that fills your heart. I'm forever yours, and you're forever mine.
Happy new month. Congratulations, you are here on the first day of the last month in 2024. And here we are again on Character Mould class for generational reform, coming to you from Destiny Defined Covenant Center on Omoluabi Radio 87.7 FM. I'm so sure you're so happy to be alive today, and I bet that your maker is as pleased as you. And it's been an amazing journey with you, all our listeners out there. This journey with you has been made possible by grace, and I want to appreciate everyone who has been following us on this broadcast since inception. Thank you. So here we are again, and if you have been following, you will observe that we have been answering series of questions on the broadcast, and it's likely you're wondering, oh, why all this questions and answers, minding the fact that this is supposed to be a family program. Okay? The reason we have been doing so is because certain air must be cleared. There are certain misconceptions that we need to clear of the air so that we can set the record straight for the things that we're going to be learning on the broadcast. So here with me today, you remember last week that one of the things we mentioned was, where did the first sin come from? We said God made only good things. Everything was beautiful, everything was gold. But then Satan, the first sinner, where did he get the spirit to commit that sin, that treason against God? Where did that evil enter him from? And we were able to look into that extensively last week. So here again, I bet you're in for another time of great exposition. Okay? This program is targeted at families, at homes, at marriages, and individuals. Yet, it is crucial that we clear the air on certain misconceptions for a solid foundation to discuss the core of this broadcast. So today we are looking into why do we have a dysfunctional society? Why is the society dysfunctional? And by dysfunctional, I mean, why do we have violence, armed robbery, kidnapping, rape, fraud, and the like? Why? What is responsible for all of this? I want to categorically tell you that it is not because we have a dysfunctional government. The reason we have a dysfunctional society is not because we have a dysfunctional government. The government is from among the people. Doesn't government also came from our families, from our society? So, the family is largely responsible for the government. As people in government came from homes, they came from families that are part of our society. The family is the foundation for the society. The family is the foundation for the society. And you know what the Bible says in Psalms 3 verse 11? If the foundation be destroyed, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So if we can take care of the foundation, our society will be largely taken care of, which is the reason the core of this broadcast coming to you from Destiny Defined Covenant Center, the Character Mould class, is intended for us to build the character that is fit for destiny fulfillment, so that everyone in this generation can rise up to fulfill destiny, our glorious destiny. Because remember, all of us are here on assignment, every one person, including that lunatic you find on the streets, including that sick man, that sick woman in the hospital, that mentally deranged young man, that woman in the psychiatric ward. Everyone is here on assignment, and the assignment is to dress the earth and to keep it. We are here to have dominion on earth. So when someone is not fulfilling destiny, the earth is negatively affected. And it is the responsibility of the church to equip the people, to sensitize the people, because we are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. I believe it because Jesus says so. He has said in John chapter 14 and verse 2 that if it were not so, he would have told us. So if Jesus told us we are the salt of the earth, that is who we are. If he says we are the light of the world, that is who we are. How do we how do we act as a salt and the light is now left to us to take our place. And that is what God is using the church to do. He has done it across generations past, and here He's doing it again in our own generation, and to Him alone be all the glory. So, the government is also an integral part of our society, which is made up of families. In fact, if a pastor or a spiritual leader is malfunctioning, don't be quick to say, after all, he called himself a pastor. He is a product of his family before grace found him. You see, the day a person gives his life to Christ, in that instant his spirit man is reborn. His spirit is born again. But his soul, which comprises of his wills, emotions, and intellect, are not yet born again. And that is where the real work is. So for his will, emotions, and intellect to be born again, it has to be taken through the process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. You know, someone is meeting with Christ at age 29, 30, 40. But before that age, the person has grown, learning vices from the family, from the society. And you know, in the life of a person, there is the crucial age called the formative years. The formative years. So, in the formative years, the person's personality has been developed. The person has been patterned already. And finally, here is this man and this woman saying, yes, I do, to the lordship of Christ. And you think a magic will just happen and he will begin to learn to say the truth when he had always told a lie. Someone who has not learned financial literacy before he got born again will become a pastor and will still mismanage funds. He will still mismanage funds because the brain has been wired to do that over the years. That was the training his brain has been given. Yes, that was the capacity he has developed, and nobody can do anything outside of his or her capacity. Capacity building is one of the functions of the family, of our upbringing. So don't be quick to judge the church, to judge any pastor, to judge the government. Let's start looking at homes. Let's start looking into our own families. And you know, families comprises of a man who found a woman, whether he fell in love or he was caused by his people to say go and get married, or he just felt, okay, now I'm of age, I want to have children. But he found a woman, and in intercourse agreements they start producing other human beings. And sometimes, most times, we have found that people give birth to children they are not responsible for. Most people do not give birth because they understand the implication of raising the next generation. I've seen people who want to get married simply because they are now of age. There is a whole lot that must be put into the foundation. Please, the young men and young women out there, come on, you can't afford to start raising children for destruction. You can't find fulfillment in your old age if this is what you're doing. And not just in your old age, even in your hereafter. In your hereafter. There is a lot to put into consideration before we take on the responsibility of fathering or mothering the next generation. All of us must take responsibility for what is happening in our society. How have you been contributing to the society? How? So, this is where the real work is, and which is the reason it is advisable for a person to be raised from a godly home, or better still, for someone to meet the Lord early in life. It's advisable that children are raised in the godly atmosphere that aids their capacity to alt positivities. Or better still, if you're out there and you already have this dysfunctional background, meet with the Lord now. Make that decision now that can set you on the path to begin to learn how to have dominion on earth, to begin to learn the correct way to dress the earth and to keep it. Let me pause here to make an ideal statement. You see, anything instituted by God, whatever is God's wisdom, such as family, requires intentionality from man. How do I mean? Whatever God is the one that instituted, whatever God founded, whatever God began, is something that you as a human being, you would have to intentionally say, I want to get this one right. I want to do it the way God wants me to do it. I want to do it the way God wants it to be done. Why? The reason is because since the fall of the first man in the Garden of Eden, the things of God no longer come naturally to man. It is no longer natural for man to do things God's own way. Man now need to learn how to do things God's own way. And that is why everyone born into this world, if a bishop, a pastor, a reverend gives birth to a child now, that child is born into sin. Naturally, what the child will know how to do is to sin. If there is nobody to begin to tutor that child and train the child in the way of the Lord, which is the reason the book of Proverbs says, train up a child in the way that he should go. And I hope that all my listeners tonight will make up their minds to intentionally start learning God's own way. Fún àǹfààní ẹ̀yin olùgbọ́ wa ní èdè Yorùbá tẹ́ wà nílé, nǹkan tá à ń sọ ní orí character mold class for generational reform láṣàlẹ̀ tó ń wá sí etí gbọ̀yìn láti ilé iṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ Destiny Defined Covenant Center ní rédíò ọmọlúàbí ìkànnì 87.7 FM. Òun náà ni wípé lóòótọ́ ètò yìí ó wá fún àtúntò ẹbí, ó wá fún àtúntò ìgbéyàwó. Síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ àwọn ìdáhùn kan wà tó ṣe kókó tó máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ láti gbé ìpilẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó máa jẹ́ kí òye tá nílò fún ètò yìí kó lè ṣeé ṣe. Torí náà la ṣe ti ń dáhùn àwọn ìbéèrè ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ara nǹkan tá a sọ ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá òun náà ni a dáhùn ìbéèrè wípé ìgbà tá a sọ pé gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run dá láti tìkọ́ ṣe dáadáa ní gbogbo ẹ̀, ibo ni búburú tí Sátánì kọ́kọ́ ṣe yẹn, ibo ló ti wá? so ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá amẹ́nubà ìyẹn ní kíkún. Lẹ́ni ìbáyìí nǹkan tá a wá ń sọ ni wípé kí ló fa gbogbo àìṣedédé tó wà ní society wa tó wà láwùjọ wa lẹ́ni. Ibo ni gbogbo àwọn àìṣedédé, àwọn ìwà ipá oríṣiríṣi, pànìyàn, ìjínigbé, irọ́ pípa, olè jíjà, ibo ni gbogbo àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí ibo lọ́n ti wá? A dẹ̀ sọ wípé kéèyàn kankan má yára láti sọ pé ìjọba ló fà á, ìjọba ni, ìjọba ta ní, ìjọba burúkú ni. Lè kéèyàn kankan má sọ pé àwọn olórí ló fà á. Ìdí ni wípé àwọn olórí yẹn náà àwùjọ wa náà tí wọn àwùjọ wa náà ló produce wọn. So ibo lọ́n ti wá o? Ìpìlẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ènìyàn òun náà ló fà á. A dẹ̀ sọ pé ẹbí òun ni ìpìlẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àwùjọ wa. Bíbélì dẹ̀ sọ nínú ìwé Psalm orí 3 verse 11 pé tí ìpìlẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bá ti bàjẹ́ kí ló lódodo lè ṣe. So ìyẹn ló wá ń fà á tá fi sọ pé kí gbogbo wa ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tọ́jú ẹbí wa o. Pé nǹkan tá dẹ̀ ń pè lẹ́bí yìí ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ látorí ọ̀dọ́mọkùnrin torí ọ̀dọ́mọbìnrin bóyá ó wù ú, bóyá ó kàn rò pé èmi náà ti ń dàgbà, àbí nǹkan kan náà ṣáà ló fà ṣá tóun náà fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa bí ọmọ. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ènìyàn sì ń bí ọmọ tí wọn ò ṣe ojúṣe lé lórí, wọ́n ń bí ọmọ tí wọn ò tọ́. A wá sọ wípé kódà tẹ bá rí pásítọ̀, wòlíì Ọlọ́run kankan, àlùfáà Ọlọ́run kankan tí ó ń ṣìwàhù láwùjọ, ẹ má yára sọ wípé a ó dẹ̀ pé rẹ̀ ní ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run. Rárá kó tó di ọjọ́ tí ó gbà Jésù ní Olúwa yẹn, àti kọ́kọ́ tọ́ látẹ̀bí kan, ìdílé kan ló ti ń bọ̀. Ìwà tó mọ̀ hù yẹn ilé lọ́n ti kọ́ ọ, kò ń ṣèwánu Bíbélì, òun lọ́n fi kọ́ ọ láti ibi tó ti ń bọ̀. So tí ènìyàn bá ti fi ayé ẹ̀ fún Jésù ló ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa kọ́ ìwà àti ṣe tinú Bíbélì yẹn gangan dẹ̀ níṣẹ́, ibẹ̀ níṣẹ́ wà, ibẹ̀ yẹn gan òun ni iṣẹ́ wà. Nínú Bíbélì à ń pè ní mind renewal. Mind renewal yìí òun náà ni àtúnṣe tí gbogbo wa ta ní láti dojúkọ báyìí. Oníkálukú wa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa wo ibi mind renewal yẹn. Mind renewal yìí láti sọ ọkàn wa di titun, èrò wa, ibi tá ti ń ṣe ìpinnu, ibi tí feelings wa ti ń wá, a ní láti dojúkọ ibẹ̀ níṣẹ́ yẹn wà o. Iṣẹ́ tí gbogbo wa ní láti ṣe kí àwùjọ wa kó lè ní àtúntò ibi ọkàn wa òun ló wà. So wá sọ wípé a gbọ́dọ̀ fi mọ̀ dájú wípé ohunkóhun tó bá ti jẹ́ ti Ọlọ́run, tó bá ti ní ohunkóhun tó ṣe wípé Ọlọ́run ló gbé kalẹ̀, ló ṣàgbékalẹ̀, àbí ọgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ni, ó gba àmọ̀ọ́mọ̀ ṣe láti ọ̀dọ̀ ènìyàn. Tí ènìyàn ò bá mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ kò ní lè ṣe o. Ìdí ni wípé látìgbà tí ènìyàn àkọ́kọ́ tó ti dẹ́ṣẹ̀ nínú ọgbà Ídẹ́nì yẹn, ohun tí Ọlọ́run ti di pa. Àwọn nǹkan Ọlọ́run kò ń ṣe kò natural mọ́ sí ènìyàn, ó ti di second nature sí ènìyàn. So ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ti di first nature fún èèyàn máa wá mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ ni láti wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa kọ́ àwọn nǹkan títí Ọlọ́run. Èyí la ti ń sọ láti ìgbà tá a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí ètò yìí. So for all our listeners, I want you to remember that if there is anything we must do for our society to be ordered aright, it is called mind renewal. All of us must go and begin to work on the renewing of our minds. And when we are talking about the renewing of our minds, the only place where we can source the materials for this job to be done is from the Bible. From the Bible. What we need to to redefine our society is only found in the Bible. I'm not talking to you about religion. I'm telling you the realities that all of us are faced with now. The realities we all need to walk in to secure the future for ourselves, for our children, and not just the future, also our eternity. Our eternity. Remember, we have said to us that there's going to be a new earth. There's going to be a new earth. But you see, until you perfect your mind renewal, nothing that defiles can enter into that new earth. So I want you to take up the challenge to begin to work on your mind. So remember, my name is Adenike Oshewolo from Destiny Defined Covenant Center on Omoluabi Radio 87.7 FM, Sundays 6:30 to 7 as the day and the time. And I'm going to be here again next week. I'm already looking forward to it because we have another exciting topic to deal with. God bless you as you stay tuned.
In the middle of nowhere, with no one to run.
Welcome to Destiny Defined Covenant Center, restoring dignity to humanity, located at Adenike Street, Olodi, Shasha, Ibadan. Join our weekly and monthly programs, Kingdom Academy, every Sunday, 9 to 11:30 a.m. Don't miss our divine appointment video every first Friday of the month, 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. and recharge with mid-month prayers on the 15th day of every month, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Stay connected online. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp and Instagram at Destiny Defined Covenant Center. For more details, call or chat us up on 0707 728 5930, 0707 728 5930. Destiny Defined Covenant Center, where God restores dignity to humanity.